Hello everyone and welcome to Bilingual 101. So during the last lesson, we've gone over the Russian alphabet, and today I would like to teach you how to pronounce vowels and consonants in Russian words. Because there are quite a few rules of pronunciation, what I like to do is separate them into three categories. So can do like this. In Russian language, as in many other languages, there is a stress that falls on vowels. The stress that falls into a vowel emphasizes it. However, it also affects the way you pronounce the rest of the vowels in that word. For example, a letter O, when unstressed. The letter O, when unstressed, is pronounced A. Let me write this in green. When O isn't stressed, you pronounce it as A. For example, chocolate. Please listen. Послушайте. Шоколад. Шоколад. Шоколад, by the way, it means chocolate. And listen where does the stress fall? Шоколад. Yes, the stress falls on A. This is how you indicate the stress in Russian. Again, шоколад. The stress falls on A. As we see, there are two vowels, O. Because stress doesn't fall on them, we pronounce them as A. Шоколад. Шоколад. The same rule affects letter Y. When Y is unstressed, it is pronounced as E. For example, серебро. Серебро is silver. Can you tell where the stress falls in this word? Серебро. 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 Yes, the stress falls on O. Please have a look. Серебро. The stress falls on O. That's why we pronounce it as O and not A. Whereas in the first case, the stress didn't fall on O and we pronounced it as A. Chocolate. However, серебро. In this case, we see two vowels, Y. They are unstressed. That's why they are pronounced as E. Серебро. Серебро. The last vowel with a similar rule is Ya. When unstressed, Ya is pronounced as E. For example, in the word девять. Девять. Where does the stress fall? Девять. Девять. Девять means 9. Девять. Yes, the stress falls on Ye. Because it falls on Ye, we don't pronounce it as девять. No. We pronounced E when the stress does not fall on Ye. In this case, have a look at the vowel Ya. Девять. Ya is unstressed. That's why we pronounce it as E. Девять. Девять. Another important rule concerns a similar vowel to ye. The vowel is yo. Vowel yo is always stressed. That's why it is always pronounced as yo. In every word where yo is present, the stress falls in yo. For example, the word ежик. Listen. Ежик, 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 ежик. The stress falls on yo, ежик. The last group of rules concerns consonants. Every time you see a voiced consonant at the end of your word, you should pronounce it as unvoiced. So your voiced consonants can become unvoiced, can be pronounced as unvoiced when two of the things happen. When you find voiced consonants at the end of your word, and when they occur before voiceless consonants. Before voiceless consonants. You may ask, well, how do I know which voiced consonants become which unvoiced consonants? So there are 6 pairs of voiced and unvoiced consonants. Let's have a look at them. B. These are voiced ones. V. G. D. J. Z. Again, these, the ones in red, are voiced consonants. Each of them has its own pair of voiceless consonant. So for example, B is paired with P. B, P. V, F. G, K. D, T. J, Sh. Z, S. Okay. If you see a voiced consonant, any of these letters in red, when you see them at the end of your word, at the right end of your word, then you should pronounce them as unvoiced. Even if you see B at the end of your word, you should pronounce it as P. And when you see your voiced consonants come right before voiceless consonants, again, you will pronounce them as voiceless. Let's have a look at some examples that might help you. For example, the word klub, a club. See, here at the end, we have a voiced consonant B. It occurs right at the end of your word. That's why you should pronounce it as voiceless. You should pronounce it as P. Gloop, gloop, gloop. Not gloob, but gloop. Another example is город. Город ends on d. D is voiced consonant. However, it occurs at the end. That's why you pronounce it as voiceless. You pronounce it as t. Город. Город. Have a look at g. G is also a voiced consonant, yet it occurs at the beginning of your word. That's why you pronounce it the way it should be. G. Город. Город. However, this consonant is voiced and is the last letter of the word. That's why you pronounce it as voiceless. T. Let's have a look at the second case. Из клуба. Из клуба. Из клуба. Okay? This means from a club. From club. Have a look. What do we have? We see two consonants right next to each other. Z is a voiced consonant. Z. K. Let's have a look. Here it is. It's voiceless consonant. K. And we have a rule that voiced consonants are pronounced as unvoiced when they come before voiceless consonants. Here we have voiced consonant that comes before the unvoiced consonant. That's why this voiced consonant should be pronounced as unvoiced. Let's have a look at its pair. Z is paired with S. That's why we will pronounce it as S. Из клуба. Not из клуба. No. Из клуба. It's wrong. You should say из клуба. Из клуба. Another example is в школе. Can you find two consonants right next to each other? The consonants next to each other are V and Sh. Which of them is unvoiced? Unvoiced is Sh. Sh. Sh is unvoiced. Then V is voiced. Again, we have a voiced consonant that comes before unvoiced one. That's why the voiced should also be pronounced as unvoiced. We go to our note and we have a look that V is paired with F. That's why we will pronounce V as F. Instead of saying в школе, we will say в школе, в школе, в школе. A similar example of школе, by the way, it means in school. A similar example is впереди. Впереди. Have a look. V is voiced consonant. P is unvoiced. That's why we have to pronounce V as F. We say впереди, 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 and not впереди, впереди. No, впереди. Here are the base pairs. Again, B, P, V, F, G, K, D, T, J, Sh, Z, S. Those are your voiced and unvoiced pairs. Memorize them. And also be mindful of the other rules. Thank you for your attention. Subscribe to the channel for more lessons. Пока-пока!